Welcome back to Top 5 Water Repairs. In today's topic, I'd like to talk about bad rotors. So the first sign that your rotor is going bad is going to be vibration. For example, let's just say you are driving and you start to step on the brake pedal when you're coming to a stop, and suddenly you feel a strong vibration throughout your vehicle. That means that your rotors are going to be warped. So for example, as you can see over here, you look carefully, you can see the rotors is warped all around. So the primary reason why rotors become warped is going to be due to overheating. For example, let's just say you are driving fast and suddenly you decide to slam on your brake. For some reason, that can cause your rotor to become extremely hot and overheat. Also, let's just say you got a brake caliper that's sticking. It's going to cause the brake pads to constantly rub against the rotor, and that's going to cause increased friction. When that happens, again, it can also cause it to overheat. Another problem could be these little fins over here. If these fins become extremely rusted, it's going to not allow enough air to flow through it. It can also cause it to overheat as well. The next common sign of a bad rotor is going to be grinding noise, squealing noise, and screeching noise. So normally these noises occur when you step on the brake pedal. Sometimes it can also make this grinding noise at all speed, and I'll tell you why. For example, let's just say you have a bad brake caliper that's sticking and it causes the piston to go outward. It's going to cause the brake pad to constantly rub against the rotor. What's going to happen is, number one, it's going to cause the brake pad material to wear out quicker, and number two, again, it's going to cause deep grooves inside the rotor because it's constantly grinding. In addition to that, when the brake pad is constantly rubbing against the rotor and causing that grinding noise, it can be caused by a lot of different factors. For example, number one, it can be caused by a very rusted sliding pin. Basically, the sliding pin must be able to move in and out freely. If it cannot, it's going to cause the brake pad to sit in one position, and in that one position, it could be constantly grinding or rubbing against the rotor. The second common cause is going to be your brake hardware. Let's just say your brake hardware is extremely rusted. It can cause the brake pad to be mounted in a weird position, let's just say at an angle, and it also can cause that to constantly rub against the rotor as well. Also, let's just say somebody improperly installed brake pad on the brake hardware. Let's just say they didn't have it flush against the rotor. That can also cause it to constantly rub against the rotor and cause it to grind. The next contribution to that grinding noise or squealing noise or screeching noise is going to be caused by excessive rust. So basically, if you live in an area that's extremely cold, like for example, like the northeast of the United States or anywhere in the whole entire world, basically, if there's a lot of snow and cold weather, it can cause your rotors to rust even quicker. Another sign that it's time to replace your rotor is going to be, it's just too thin. Let's just say you have replaced your brake pads a few times. Maybe it's time to change your rotor. So if you look at this rotor over here, if you put your finger on the outside of the edge, or basically the rim, and you try to fill it all across, you could feel that it's gonna dip in. So basically, this is where the brake pads sit over here, on this surface over here, and basically, due to constant rubbing and friction, it's gonna cause a lot of these materials to wear out. So here's a close-up view what I mean by high and low. As you can see on the outside over here, on the outer edge, it's much higher, and as you're going across, it goes inward. But again, if you compare it to this rotor over here, see how it's nice and flush? It's just as high over here and over here. That means this one is good. And you look compared to this one, you can see it really goes inward. The next sign that it's time to replace your rotor is going to be glazed. When your rotors become extremely too hot, usually caused by repeatedly slamming on your brake pedal, it's going to cause your rotor to become extremely hot and start to glaze. So when it's become glazed, you can see a lot of blue spots all over your rotor, and also it's going to look kind of shiny, almost kind of like glass-like. When that happens, your rotor is no longer functioning properly and it should be replaced. The next sign that it's time to inspect your rotors is going to be increased braking distance. You find that when you step on your brake pedal and your car is going farther than it should, maybe it's time to inspect your brake system and your rotors together. Of course, this can be caused by a lot of different factors, such as low brake fluid, a leak somewhere in the brake system, or a failing master cylinder. And lastly, if you're the type of person that always drive with your parking brake on, well, definitely that's going to contribute to your rotors failing. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Top 5 Auto Repairs.